Good morning, and thank you for joining the IntermixIT 30-minute lunch on Cryptolocker, how a single virus can sink your business. My name is Scott R. Davis. I am an IT solutions architect here at IntermixIT. And if you do have any questions going along, feel free to send me a message on Twitter at Scott R. Davis or also the @IntermixIT. So let's get started. Obviously, if you do have any questions during the presentation, you can hit me up on Twitter or also email them to me at sdavis@intermixit.com. If there is time available at the end of the presentation, I will try to answer as many of them as I can. If not, I will reach out individually to everyone afterwards and answer those questions. Now, what if every document, spreadsheet, database, image file, and PDF was deleted? Would losing your company's historical archive, records, customer data, and internal documentation sink your business? Crypto aims to do just that. In addition, if you fall under HIPAA regulations, is your business prepared for the fines and the public disclosure that you have to make, alerting the end users, your customers, of that threat? So what are cryptoviruses? Cryptoviruses is a form of malware which encrypts files on a computer and its attached resources, which then demands a ransom to obtain the decryption key. Cryptoviruses are commonly referred to as ransomware viruses, but they are in fact malware. What is encrypted? The latest variants are designed to scan and encrypt over 130 unique file types, including Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and other Office products. The Adobe product suite, including Adobe Photoshop, your Acrobat, which is your PDF files, InDesign, and the other Adobe products used by graphic designers, web developers, and image professionals. Your image files, your GIFs, JPEGs, PNG, raw images. If you're a photographer, your raw images is really the lifeblood of your business. Certificates, Microsoft Exchange. If you're running an Exchange server internally, the Microsoft Exchange server requires certain certificates to work correctly. Those certificates could be encrypted as well. The Microsoft database file, SQL, My Database, it goes right along with the Access, and many more common file types. How does crypto infect? The crypto malware targets your end users' workstations, utilizing security vulnerabilities in not just Microsoft Windows, but third-party software, including Adobe Flash, Java, and it utilizes those security vulnerabilities to scan and encrypt workstations and those attached drives. And when I say the workstation and the attached drives, really what we're looking at is the crypto malware is going to scan the entire C drive, and then it's going to look at external drives, your USB drives, and it's going to then attach itself to network drives, your user's drive, or public drive for many of you. Commonly, malware like crypto arrives in the form of an email designed to get the end user to click a website link, which carries the crypto malware package. In our experience, we have seen this delivered in a single click from an email to also including utilizing known solutions like Dropbox, which carries the package, which once you click, it downloads from a reliable website. Your computer is now infected. It could also infect your system if you just browse to an infected website. You click a link on Facebook or Twitter or another social media platform, or just simply sometimes a Google search result showing a vulnerable link. How will you know you have crypto? Typically, the first thing that we realize, or that kind of puts a red flag up that crypto may be in place, is we start getting users complaining that my files are reporting that they are corrupted, or they are just showing a lot of characters instead of the clear text you're looking for, which you can see by the example on the page. Another clear sign is you look in the root folders of where these files are, and every crypto variant thus far creates 3 files, an HTML, a text, and a URL file, and it includes the text how_decrypt in that name. Now, this is important and it's key for the virus just as much as it is to the detection. For the virus itself, obviously it wants to sell you the ransom key. So it wants to get you to pay them. In order for that to happen, you have to know where to send the money and how to pay. That HTML, text, and URL file links you with that payment information. Limit the damage. You just discovered the how decrypt files, and your end users are reporting their files are locked. Typically, the first thing we try to do is locate the computer that has been infected. Search the computers, find the system that has the files on the local drive as well as the network, and unplug the network cable. By simply turning off the computer, you're telling, in essence, the crypto malware to start up again once it's rebooted. What we want to do is we want to eliminate that from scanning any further. Simply unplugging that network cable is going to stop additional network resources. And it also allows troubleshooting on the back end. Once the computer is unplugged, you've obviously allocated and found that system. The next step is really looking at all of the resources that user had access to. Do they have access to the public drive? Do they have access to a user drive? Is there additional drives that they have access to? Does your company share all of the drives locally with everybody? If that's the case, every drive for every user could be impacted. Pay the ransom. The majority of variants of crypto malware will require you to pay with Bitcoin, which is an anonymous payment system designed to be harder to trace. Typically, I agree with Microsoft's Malware Protection Center, where we don't recommend you pay because there's no guarantee that handing over your ransom will give you access to your files again. But there are situations that arise that you may need to pay the ransom. And why would you pay? If you find that your data backup library is corrupt or incomplete, and the loss of the data would sink your business. And again, just because you paid the ransom does not guarantee the successful recovery of your data. In our experience here, we have had several clients actually pay the ransom. Several new clients actually pay the ransom. And we found the process works, but is a very slow process. It can take anywhere from a week to several months to fully recover and unencrypt all of the data. And that's not guaranteeing every piece of data that was encrypted was able to be unencrypted. The 2 steps we recommend is obviously being reactive. You want to be reactive with your data backup strategy, planning for both virtual and physical threats to your data. Virtual threats include the crypto malware. Physical threats could be a fire. It could be a natural disaster, earthquake. Regardless how you get back up, it is key that you have a good backup strategy that is not only tested regularly, but is known to carry the data you need to get your business back up and running in a timely manner. And also be proactive. You want to be proactive with your security strategy, preventing malware and hacking threats from ever reaching your data. And we're going to dig into a little bit of both of those. First, planning your backup strategy. IntermixIT recommends you utilize a 3-tiered backup strategy. And we recommend utilizing the first step, Windows Shadow Copies, or WSC. It is built into Windows operating systems, on-site backup, and off-site backups. With Windows Shadow Copy, enabled, recovery time is typically less than 4 hours. It could be as little as under an hour, depending on the amount of data. And of course, all of the recovery times are estimated based on an average data recovery. Some of the latest variants of crypto actually disable the Windows shadow copy. Now, it does that on the local machine that's been infected. So as long as your server itself is not the machine that was infected, the Windows shadow copy on those network drives should still be fully functioning. In addition, the latest variants of cryptos will actually not only disable the Windows shadow copy, but it also goes further in disabling system restore functionality and backups that you potentially have on that drive or on that computer to retrieve and go backwards before crypto infected. So potentially that computer is completely gone. Recovery with an on-site backup can take typically right around 12 hours. It all depends, again, on the type of media being used. Are you still using tape media? Is it stored on a backup? In what methodology is the backup being stored? Is it an image-based backup? Is it data level? There's a lot of questions, and it varies so much. But recovery based on an on-site backup, you're looking probably 1 to 2 days to fully get your business back up and running as it was before crypto hit. Recovery with off-site backup typically wouldn't be what we would recommend with a crypto malware. Off-site backup is typically going to be useful when you have a disaster, be it a fire, be it a earthquake, be it one of those natural causes. Having that off-site backup will allow you to get your business back up and running. But it also provides that third tier. So if Cryptolocker does infect and it is able to disable Windows shadow copy, it is able to corrupt your on-site backup library, you still have off-site backups available. Typically, a recovery time with off-site backups is going to take more than a day. Recovery is going to depend on your internet speed. It's going to depend on the amount of data, what type of data, and there's a lot of variables in with off-site backups. There's different solutions that we offer here at IntermixIT that can speed up or increase the off-site backup recovery time. And obviously, if you have questions of that, feel free to shoot me an email at sdavis@intermixit.com. One of the best things you can do is being proactive against crypto, and not just crypto, but all internet security threats. IntermixIT recommends a tiered security strategy to detect and block internet threats, including the crypto malware. Our tiered security strategy includes OpenDNS, intrusion protection and malware scanning at the firewall, proper management of workstations and servers, and Bitdefender Anti-Virus with behavioral analysis. The first step is really that key step to protecting your network, and that's OpenDNS. It blocks connections to malicious sites to prevent infections before the end users even load the site. With web filtering that blocks known phishing websites and the ability to create custom profiles. The custom profiles could be useful. Do your employees need access to Facebook and social media? Do they really need to be researching guns or weaponry or chat rooms? The web filtering technology that's built into OpenDNS allows us to work with you and create a profile that suits your business needs. Predictive intelligence within OpenDNS uncovers when and where new cyber attacks are being staged. Moving on from OpenDNS, the next step is obviously your local firewall. IntermixIT recommends and we utilize Cisco Meraki and Dell Sonicwall Firewalls. When properly licensed and utilized, both provide intrusion prevention, malware virus detection, and other key features to protecting your infrastructure. The bottom line is having a firewall with the ability to scan and detect threats before the workstation level. So we have OpenDNS that kind of sits above your firewall, and it's scanning all of the internet traffic that's going to and from your computers. Next, you have the firewall level, which is local on your site, that serves as kind of that next step security barrier from OpenDNS, your firewall. Next step is your workstations and servers. Workstation server management. The IntermixIT remote monitoring and management solution, or RMM as we call it, system scans and automatically deploys Windows updates and third-party software updates automatically based on a schedule that we set with you. Securing the third-party software such as Java, Adobe Flash is just as critical as Windows updates. And I put that in there simply because a lot of the crypto variants rely on third-party security flaws to access the system, to gain the install access, to deploy and run on a local system to introduce the crypto malware to the network. Bitdefender Anti-Virus is the final layer of security for your network. Bitdefender is the antivirus and malware scanner installed locally on each workstation. With behavioral analysis, Bitdefender is able to detect most variants of the crypto malware. Just a side note, the reason we utilize Bitdefender is it is one of the best antivirus solutions out there that we have utilized. It also utilizes some of the least amount of resources on your local computer. The one thing we want is for you to be able to work and not see that antivirus is constantly running and scanning. We want you to feel as though your computer's faster and faster. And Bitdefender does that. In fact, PC Magazine Editor's Choice 7-time winner. And I believe that's the last 7 years in a row. So what does it mean? The only way to defeat today's crypto malware and the next generation of threats is to implement that multi-tiered security strategy that utilizes OpenDNS, it utilizes good firewall security settings, it utilizes making sure Windows updates, third-party software is updated, and obviously a good antivirus solution installed locally on your computer. But in addition, planning and utilizing and testing a multi-tiered backup strategy. Windows Shadow Copy is a great way to quickly get back up and running, but an on-site and off-site image-based backup and full backups are just as important to any backup strategy, just as it is to have a good security strategy in place. At this point, the presentation is pretty much done. I know a handful of questions has come in. We have right around 10 minutes left, but I think what we're going to do is just sign off, and I will go through the list of emails as I haven't had a chance to really read any of them yet. But I will answer all the questions to you individually one-on-one. But keep your questions coming. Just because today's seminar is over does not mean to stop asking questions. If you're not sure, or if you'd like to learn more about the tiered strategies or schedule a network assessment with us, you can email us at info@intermixit.com. And if you have questions regarding crypto or this presentation directly, please take a minute and email me, fdavis@intermixit.com. I would also love to hear any of your feedback or comments or simply ways that we could improve the presentation today. So with that, thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to share my knowledge with crypto malware and viruses with you, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Thank you.